Dan Didio. The mere mention of this man's name gives fans a bunch of mixed emotions, whether they be good, bad, indifferent, in between. But today, in this bonus topic time video, we're going to discuss, is Dan Didio destroying DC Comics? Stay tuned for your bonus Frontline topic time.
Topic time! It's topic time.
So for the past while now, I've been hearing a lot of people talking about Dan Didio and DC Comics. And of course, the almighty Dan Didio is once again destroying DC Comics and their superheroes. And I figured with so much going on, not only on YouTube seeing people talk about Dan Didio and DC Comics, but also on the DC Comics social media, where a lot of fans are making their voices very vocal about their disapproval for certain things. I thought now would be a good time to reach out to all of you, the Frontline universe, and to get your insight on what's going on and your thoughts on DC Comics, and if you feel Dan Didio is destroying DC Comics. And also I'm here to give you guys my opinions and my thoughts on this topic. So fast forward past the New 52, which we all know hurt DC Comics way more than it helped. And DC Comics really quickly, after the 52nd issue for all the New 52 books, brought us into Rebirth, which brought back a lot of legacy that New 52 got rid of. And of course they claim that this was all planned, and whether that's true or not, we fans will never know that, and we're not here to talk about that. But now we're fast forwarding again past Rebirth, which brought back Superman and Lois Lane with a child. So now Superman and Lois Lane are a family, brought back Wally West, and brought Nightwing back as Nightwing, because Nightwing during the New 52 had been killed. Not really, brought back as Agent Grayson, then brought back as Nightwing. Now Nightwing is back. So we got Nightwing back in Bloodhaven and everything. That's during Rebirth. Now we're fast forwarding to present day. Present day, during Heroes in Crisis issue number 1, it was mentioned that Wally West was killed. And I'm doing this for a reason. I'll talk about my feeling towards this later. Brian Michael Bendis has fully taken over Superman. The family that was Jonathan Kent left into space with Jor-El to learn from Jor-El. And Lois and Clark, while still being married, are separated. Superman lives in their apartment. Lois is living somewhere else, hiding away doing her writing. He's doing Superman. She's doing Lois. So they're married, but not really. Will this last? Again, we'll talk about my feelings towards all this at the end. And then finally, the reveal that John Kent will be coming back in February solicits. He will be older, and there's a possibility that he will be very angsty, which is basically edgy, which is what all of the New 52 characters were all about, and a lot of fans are not happy about that. And then the cherry on top, Nightwing recently being shot in the head and getting amnesia, not remembering being Nightwing, not remembering any of his past except the fact that he's Dick Grayson, and a few things here or there, touch and go. But he doesn't remember he's Nightwing, so Nightwing no longer is Nightwing. And we have these other people who are dressing up like Nightwing now that are taking over the role, but of course they're not doing it the way Dick would. And of course, because they're basically copycat, counterfeit Nightwings. But that's, again, we'll talk about my feelings for that in the end. So fans, after seeing all this, are starting to talk, Dan Didio is ruining DC because he's getting everything he wanted all over again. You know, we erased it. He erased it all in the New 52. We got it back as fans, and then now back again. Here are all the things Dan Didio wanted, and he's succeeding once again. And the reason I mentioned social media, if you are on Instagram, if you are on Twitter, anywhere, Instagram, DC Comics likes to take pictures of their comics, a certain panel in their comics, and then ask the fans what they think about that issue. And recently on Instagram, they shared a picture of Nightwing, I believe it's issue 53, and 95% of the comments on that post are negative. I hate what you're doing to Nightwing. Nightwing isn't Nightwing anymore. Bring back my Nightwing. Why do they insist on hurting one of my favorite characters in the DC universe? This is not good. Some people calling it garbage. And you can tell that the fans are not happy with the direction DC Comics is going. So, my side of it all. Now, I was never a fan, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, of Brian Michael Bendis getting the entirety of Superman. One book fine. Both books, plus Supergirl's gone, Superboy's, or John Kent Superboy's gone, all this stuff, we lost All New Superman, that title ended. I didn't like that. We all know this. Is Brian Michael Bendis doing a bad job? No. I've actually been somewhat enjoying Superman. Has it always been in my top 5 since Bendis has taken over? No. But is it completely destroying Superman so far? No. But at the same time, do I agree with a lot of stuff going on? No. But again, this is a story arc. Bendis has a 12-part arc for Superman action. And when that's done, for all we know, everything can go back right the way it was before. Will John be a little older? Possibly. But there's a theory that Jay and I mentioned on Frontline Live if you'd like to, or no, sorry, Zone 4. If you'd like to see that, you're welcome to go check it out. But basically, aging John up a little bit, I don't have a problem with that, especially with the rumors of Connor coming back. I have a problem if they're going to make him angsty, though. That's a different story. Nightwing. As you all know, I've dropped Nightwing because I don't like the whole amnesia arc. But I believe, again, it's only going to last for an arc or two. And then we're going to get Dick Grayson Nightwing back. Why? Because the fans are not happy with the series. And obviously DC's not going to want to get rid of Nightwing because Nightwing has been a series for quite some time, since the 90s. I don't think they're going to get rid of one of their ongoing series that they've had for so long. So obviously that's going to go back. Wally West being dead. I believe a lot of the deaths that have happened in Heroes in Crisis will be undone before the end of this miniseries. One death I think that will stick is Arsenal because we've had a huge focus on that. Wally being dead, I don't see it. I don't see that sticking. I see there being some way, somehow, that and a few of the other superheroes will be undone. Because you got Poison Ivy that died in Heroes in Crisis. You had a lot of big players, or a lot of B-list characters that died that logically it wouldn't make sense for them to stay dead unless DC is going to be going for another reboot, which would make no sense also. So I believe Wally will be back. I believe Dick will be back. Improper mindset given an arc or two. And I believe once Bendis is done with his tale for Superman, the family might be back as well. I believe it's just very coincidental that all of this is going on at the same time. And of course, everybody's going to point the finger at Dan Didio because these are all the things Dan Didio's wanted since Crisis on Infinite Earths, way back in 1986. I don't think Dan Didio is ruining DC Comics. I think that the writers are trying to give us stories that obviously we are not liking. Again, Heroes in Crisis, I'm liking it. I don't know if Wally's going to stay dead, but I don't think they will keep him dead. Bendis on Superman, I am always on the edge of my seat, worried what's coming next because it's Brian Michael Bendis. But again, anything, once a new writer comes on or a new team comes on, Superman could be undone. We all know this because everybody's talking about Grant Morrison's Green Lantern. Once he leaves the book will go right back to the way it was before he started the book. And then Nightwing, again, I'm not happy with it. I've dropped the book. However, I do believe we're going to get Dick Grayson Nightwing back. Not just because the fans are talking about it, but I believe that the team on Nightwing has a plan. I do not believe we're going to have Dick Grayson or Rick Grayson for more than an arc or two before they undo the whole thing and give Dick back his Nightwing duds and he goes back to being Bloodhaven's hero. So no, to answer the topic question, I do not believe Dan Didio is ruining DC Comics. I believe that it's a lot of coincidental moments in DC. A lot of fans are, of course, going to be against a lot of the stuff going on because we just lived through 3 years of the New 52 and we don't want to see our characters regress back to that status when we just got them back into their legacy statuses. So I understand fans, but at the same time, everybody has to understand, I don't think Dan Didio is ruining DC Comics. I think DC Comics is going through their motions right now, but in the end, all of our characters will be safe, happy, and in the status quo they were met. Why do Rebirth? Why bring all of them back just to kill them off not even a half a year later? It makes no sense. Or a year later. It makes no sense. I believe everything will be back soon enough. But now it's your turn, everybody. What do you all think about Dan Didio and DC Comics? Do you think Dan Didio is ruining DC Comics? Do you think he's destroying DC Comics? Do you think he should be fired? Let us know in the comments below. And even your thoughts on any of the stuff I mentioned here. Personally, I think it's all going through its arcs. Once we get through the arcs, everything will be back to normal. You let us know. And until next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting. Don't forget to check out Frontline Live every Tuesday night right here on Comic Frontline, and Zone 4 Podcast every Friday night, 10:30 p.m. right here on Comic Frontline. And we'll see you all there. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. I said that like 3 times. I gotta stop saying take care so much. But I want everybody to take care because I love you all. So take care for a 5th time.